and your presence is also very important that ways. Correct? So, okay, great. Now, okay, fine. Now let's start the session today. So today's session is going to be very, very fruitful. Why? Because some of the companies, they have the criteria of they give you this activity to write as a part of selection process, right? So this is gonna be very, very interesting, very, very learning, and this is something that you can use throughout your life. And trust me, even if you become a manager, you become the general manager, the senior technical engineer, the software engineer, but this skill that you will learn today will go with you, till the time you are a professional, not even a professional then too also. Correct? So let me share my screen, and please let me know once you can see my screen. I'm sure all of you can see my screen. All right.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you so much for
Yes,
this
ma'am.
acknowledgement. Right. So let's
Yes, ma'am.
go with email writing today. Right. So, any idea what is email writing and why is it important? Let's discuss it one by one. What is your idea? What is your understanding with the term called email writing?
Hi, ma'am. This is Uma.
Hi. Hi.
Hello. Yeah, I think
Yeah, I can hear
nowadays
you.
every organization maintain the Outlook there because of they're sending the communication one team to another team.
Mm-hmm.
Am I audible,
Great.
ma'am? Hello.
Ma'am, it's a way
Yeah.
of communication so that we could ask our
Mm-hmm.
query to the authorities.
Okay. What else?
It is a formal way of
It is also official way to communicate with
It is a
others.
form. Correct. Very much correct. Anything else?
Good evening, ma'am. Ma'am,
Good evening.
emails are used for professional communication.
Very much correct. Yes, absolutely right. So, yes, writing shows personality, it shows be professionally and polite. So, I'll give you replacing the letter writing, correct, communication with all people, formal way of communication. Yes, exactly. First of all, what happens is why it is important, right? Exchange of messages between the people in electronic form. Yes, and Manish, absolutely right. There are two reasons to understand the just a second, I'm just stop sharing right now. So first reason of understanding email writing is because there are few companies in like sometimes it is Gemini, right, and few more companies, those are keeping their first round as a writing round, because they check you in your LSRW, so they check whether the person is proficient in writing or not, right? How are their technical writing skills, what is the understanding of grammatical knowledge, what is the understanding of structuring the sentences, right? Correct. So they introduce first session as first round of interview as your email writing or first round of selection that ways. They won't give you a page to write. What they give you is, these days nowadays, because technology is growing, so They can give you one one scenario of email with some keywords to be added, and write one email. So there is a proper software, that that actually evaluates your writing and will give you the marks accordingly as per the designed software. So it includes your punctuation errors, your grammatical errors, your structuring of the sentences, right? And then how well you have designed your sentences, if it is affirmative, tone is negative, so on. So various reasons are there, right? So we need to understand those things, right, in email writing, what is to be addressed and how it is to be addressed and what all words to be avoided, right? One is this. So one reason of understanding email writing is because you can go through one of the selection processes as email writing. So yeah, definitely it can be, or maybe it could be essay writing also. So could be one of them. Second, they check your email. Sometimes what happens is, maybe when you are in the organization, there is no word, there is no value to the words that you are using in the system. For example, I and Manish are very good friends, right? And Manish asked me, right, that there is one important information, Komal, please keep it with you, and later or sooner I will request for the same. So what I'll be like, maybe I can forget, as a human nature I can forget it in a while or so, right? And Manish keeps on asking that, when his boss asks, right, whether have you communicated it or not. So Manish is like, yes, I did, right? You remember, we are friends. I would be like, no, I don't remember. I have several things to remember. Why would I remember this, right? So now the words has no value, even if we are good friends in the working place. What matters is what is documented, and how it is documented. It is documented over the mail. Any communication that happens within the organization, right, or in the organization, intra-organization, inter-organization, is to be done through documented words through email. Now the platforms could be different. Maybe your company is using Outlook, your company might can use Gmail, can have their own chat, or the email platform. But yes, email writing is must to sustain, to get the job in both the ways possible, right? Maybe you are a manager, and I've seen lot of professionals, I'm talking in precise, right? Those who are really at a very good place, and still they are really not making a good deal in writing the perfect mails, right? So all these understandings, all these protocols we will learn today, so that tomorrow, even if you are applying for the job, you are getting the job, you're appearing for the job, you are sustaining in the job, you are not facing any hurdle while you are drafting any email, right? So that's what the importance is. Correct? Any doubts so far? Did I make myself clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Correct.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Yes, ma'am.
So
It's clear.
yeah, so let me share my screen. I hope you all can see the screen.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead.
I'm not audible.
Yes, I gave you
Ma'am, you
five
are not
minutes
audible.
to answer. I'm audible. I gave you 5 minutes
Yeah,
to,
sure.
to
Yeah, yeah.
understand whether you could answer these questions.
Okay, okay, ma'am. Sure.
Ma'am, can you
Ma'am,
repeat?
I said I gave you means I mean 3 4 minutes to understand these questions and see how many questions can you answer in these particular questions. So in
Okay, ma'am.
another
Thanks.
1 minute we'll discuss. All right. So I'm sure most of you could answer the questions. So let's discuss them. So one of you can tell me that what could be the first answer. One of the best ways to organize your inbox is with how do you organize your inbox? If you want, you can write it also in the chat box. Tags and separations. Start making importance. Yes, absolutely. Ayushi is absolutely right, and even Himanshu is right. We can either create labels or we can have the separate folders to be made, right? So that those designated mails reach to the the designated folders. Absolutely right. Now, emails you keep in case you need the information later are called what?
It's flag. We can flag that mail.
Yes, you can. Absolutely correct. Right. What does
Flag that mail.
yes, what
Thank
does
you,
it
ma'am.
mean? What does it mean when an email bounces? What all can be the possible reasons that the email bounces back?
It's a wrong recipient name.
Okay. One is the recipient name is wrong. Other than this, what all can be the reasons?
Server problem.
Server problem. Okay. Incorrect email ID. Yes. The major reason is, or second could, or third, fourth could be if the inbox is full. That way is also, sometimes it comes back. But the major reason that that your email doesn't reach to the intended sender is due to wrong email IDs, right? So that is something that we need to check upon. Now what does it mean? Okay, what does this FYI stands for? I'm sure now this thing my all our audience will tell, right?
For your information.
For your information. Very good, because you use this word, this in your WhatsApp chats, day to day life. What is NNTR and NNTO? No need to read and no need to open, no need to respond. Do you know what is the importance of these? So let me tell you what is the meaning of no need to response. Is absolutely right. The meaning is NNTR and NNTO is need not to respond or need not to open. Now, when do we use them? Right, spam mails, yes. what happens is, for example, there are some special cases where you send the email, right? You share the email, and you don't want to get any rewards on those emails, right? Maybe it could be a bulk mail. So what you do is you put there in subject line NNTR. So the intended reason, under intended audience understand that there is no need to respond on this particular mail. This is just the information mail. Correct. So that's the reason we do not promote we do not promote if there is NNTR written, so you need not to respond on that particular email. Whereas when I talk about NNTO, need not to open, if this is written in any of the subject line, that means your subject is stating the entire message. You don't have to open the entire mail and read it. For example, let's say if I conduct one meeting, and I say, let's say if I say, okay, meeting at 2 o'clock in conference hall, and then I write, by putting one hash, and I write NNTO. That means my entire mail is in the subject line, which says there is a meeting which is scheduled at 2 o'clock in the conference hall. So now that's it. That's the information that I wanted to send. I would not write the body of the mail. Hi, everyone, please be informed. No, nothing. Just one tag, and then I write NNTO. That means you need not to open the entire mail. Your subject is in itself is the mail. So that is the importance of NNTR and NNTO. If you are a part of any sales team, marketing team, so this NNTR is something that you will be using often, right? Any question, any doubt so far?
And where we will write this
In the
in the
subject
mail.
line. In the subject line.
Okay.
All right. Now, what does this EOM stands for? End of message or end of mail, right? So if it is a mail, it is like end of mail. So that means if you're writing the entire mail, at the end you write EOM, that means there is nothing beyond it, right? Priyanka, FYI is for your information. For example, if you requested one information to be passed on, so what I did is I told you, okay. So I would be like, I would be writing dear so and so FYI. That means just I would write FYI and the attached folder. So for your information, that's it, when I'm not going to write the entire story behind. Correct. So I would write FYI. Now you're saying, so there should be no body in NNTO type of mail. No. Rishi, for example, you are a manager, right? You have a team of 10. Now you don't obviously, when you are in the information organization, so you would not go to everyone's seat and say there's a meeting, there is a meeting. So as a manager, what will you do is you will draft one mail. In this, you will put everybody in two, and then desired people in CC. And then what will you do is you will write in the subject line meeting at 2 in conference hall, and then NNTO. That means the person is not required to open the entire mail. This subject tells it all, that this is just the information regarding to the meeting. So there would be no body, or there would be no salutations, nothing would be there, right? Yes, I will show you, Anugu, Ganesh. First, let me complete all these things, then I will show you the practical implementation also of email writing. Don't worry. Even I would ask you people also to draft one email, so that I can correct you upon, right? So don't worry. Now, what does, if your mail doesn't require a confirmation or reply, what is the recommended course of action? Okay, yes, correct. Very good, very nice. If an email contains information about an event or appointment, it is recommended that you should do what? What will you do? What will you do? No. If in any case, like when you get an email and that needs the confirmation, maybe that is informing any event, yes, right? So what will we do is we will add into our calendar. Now let's say if I send one mail that, hi everyone, on 22nd of May there is an important meeting which is scheduled with the board of directors, please be available. Now, most of you will think, okay, I will remember. I know there will be a lot of people, those who will remind me. But what if they don't remind you? For being professional, you cannot rely on somebody else's information. So, what will you do? First is you will open your calendar, you will make it as an event, and you will save it. Now, on the same date, you will get one reminder message that you have one scheduled meeting at so and so place, so and so time. So, you have to be available that way. Right, somebody rose hand. Who is it? I can't see. Any question? You can unmute yourself and please ask me. Meanwhile, what I suggest you is that I'll keep 15-20 minutes window open at the last. So even if you have any questions, please note them down. I will answer each and every questions in the last. Don't worry on this. Correct? So how many of you got all the answers correct? How many of you got all the answers correct? Very good. Very well said. Very well. Good performance. Very good. So now I'm sure those who did not know, they would also know these answers now. Now these are the tips for the better emails. Use a clear direct subject line. Now when I say use the clear direct subject line, now this is very much important because understand this thing that your email, the important essence of email writing is uh why this screen is not getting into it. Okay, maybe not. Okay, so what is the importance of your email is your subject line, because before you see then his email, what will you do is you will see the subject. If it is of your interest, right, then you will open it, else you will ignore this mail. Agreeing to me or not? Do you all agree? If you read if you, even if you get the lot of mails, right, so what do you do? Great, right? Mark it as read. Yes ma'am, see the subject line. Yes. So yes, you ignore the mails, but in the professional world, my dear friends, you cannot ignore any of the mails, right? With my decade of experience, I'm telling you, there are so many mails that you will receive in the future, I am sure, right? But what happens is if you are not reading your mails in the proper time, right, so you will not be getting all the information. So it is a habit that you have to put in, that you read all the messages, right? So the importance of subject line is, if your subject is very powerful, then only the recipient is going to read your mail, otherwise he or she is going to delete them, or they will not read it, or they will ignore it, whatsoever is their the concern. Now We have to make, it's not like, you are making the subject line as a story. No, we have to keep it short, crisp, and precise, and also important. Now, for example, you must have seen with a lot of the marketing strategies, marketing companies, what they do is, in the subject line, what they do, they would write their congratulations, good news for you. Now you will be like, who is congratulating me? You tend to open that mail, yes or no? Am I wrong? You get such kind of emails on the daily basis. Congratulations for the job, your job offer is ready, right? Or maybe, you bonanza offer. Now these are catching lines, which is purposely added to the subject, because it catches the eye of the attention of the user, so they tend to open the entire mail. However, this mail is not maybe every time for you, but then still it catches your attention. Similarly, we have to understand that whenever we are drafting any email, our subject line has to be powerful, it should be important, it should be related to the mail you are drafting. Nowadays, Gmail is giving you one of the facility that when you draft the entire mail, it will give you the automated suggestions to write for the subject lines. If you feel like using them, you can put a tab, it will give you the options. I will show you in practical also, don't worry. Right, or because I have to create one, I cannot show you from the personal one. So that's the and tomorrow I'll get this template, so I'll show you, don't worry. Right now, the subject line is clear to everybody here. What I'll do is, let me show you this. I'll take one as one more slide, I'll enter. Now, for example, if I write here my subject, this is my subject line. If I write here urgent, right, or I write here important in caps on, that means there is something that is really, really, really urgent. And if I write important for that matter in caps, again, this is very important mail which you cannot ignore, right? So for any emergency, or there is something that really needs to be considered, any urgent, important, severe, critical mails are to be written like that. Now, for example, if you're going on a leave, right, now what will you write? Requesting, you want to request a leave, requesting leave, leaves 20th May to 24th 25th May. Now, this is your subject line. Now, any person who will be reading this and who would grant you the leaves will understand that you are requesting for leaves from 20th May to 25th May. So, this is how you make your subject lines. No, you should never use the bold fonts in subject unless you are an authoritative person. I'm telling you, uh, and trust me, nobody will give you, this email session in so detail that, right. So you need to understand that I'm going to share everything in very, very, very much in detail. So you should never write anything in bold unless you reach at that position wherein you can write something in bold. When I say position, so position means when you are a dignitary, maybe a manager, super manager, senior manager, or holding an experience of 5 years, 7 years, and you are writing that mail to your junior subordinate, and you are really furious and you feel that yes, there is an urgency and you are shouting at somebody, you can do that. But now there is an exception. Now let's say, even if you're a fresher and you want to convey something really urgent, only you can use the word urgent, but don't use it in the caps. Correct? So you can write it in urgent or important mail, to just increase the or just to enhance the importance of that particular email. So clear the subject line. Now I'll show it here only, that somebody was asking me that how do we use it. For example, if I this is my subject line, what I'll write is meeting 2 p.m. conference hall, NNTO. Now this entire subject line is the my subject is in itself is a mail. I'm saying that there is a meeting which is scheduled at 2 p.m. in conference hall, NNTO. That means now I'm telling my users that you need not to open the entire mail. This is in itself is a mail. You don't have to open it, and don't waste your time. Just read the message and reach the conference hall. Clear? In special messages, in subject messages, we can use special characters. Only you can use these the pipes, these these divisors. Otherwise you cannot use them, like and asterisk. These are not professional to use actually, right? Any doubt here? Any doubt that I can clarify here?
Ma'am, we can leave the content blank there, right?
Yes, yes, absolutely. Absolutely you can, right? Now let's come to the second one. Yes. Now use a professional email address. Now this is something that I would like to acknowledge here, and this will be fun, right? There are a lot of my friends here is who are really very creative, right? And they tend to make very very creative email IDs. For example, if they're girls, please don't get offensive. I am just giving you an example which I found when I was being one of the recruiters and was fetching out the details of one of the candidates. So she was like, her email ID was, it was like, it was her name and then underscore papa's angel at the rate of gmail.com, right? And the boy, he had, it was like, Hulk underscore Avengers at the rate of gmail.com. Now, my dear friends, do you think, I'm sure this is really funny to get through, and I'm sure being students as a youth, you all can have these creative IDs, but when you are a professional and you read these IDs, these creative IDs, Devil Boys, yes, Avengers and games, I'm sure how big fan, or you must all be of Avengers. Then Devil Boy, yes, absolutely. There are a lot of other which I cannot even name, right? Those are the creative IDs that people do create. But Kachap, okay, please, that's okay, right? So now we have to understand that in another 2 years or 1.5 years, we are going to face the professional world. Even if when what I believe is the moment you have left your school, you are a professional, right? I never treat my students or my my learners as a student. I always regard them. I always introduce them as professionals, right? Unless you are treated like professionals, you will never behave like professionals, right? So the moment you have left the school, your student life, your maybe small silly mistakes could be considered, but when you're in the college, you're a professional. That's how the uniforms are there. Your teachers, they keep on asking you to work on your body languages and everything. Yeah. So yes, it is very very important that you are having a professional email ID. Now, what is the basic idea and what is the right way of creating one professional ID is, I'll show you here. How can you write is, how can you make one, or how can you create your uh, email ID? Your last name, this is the right way of making one ID for you. Last name dot your first name. If it is already, it is existing in your in the system, you can give it any special number. For example, your date of birth, maybe your any lucky number, that ways, right? And at the rate of any domain, maybe Gmail, Yahoo, whatever you want to use, right? But then it has to be very very official. So this is the right way of making your email IDs. So so whomsoever has their email IDs done, they can enjoy their sending messages. But for few, those who don't have, you know, those who don't have these professional IDs, I would request you to make it one today, right? For better approach, for approaching the company. Now let's say what happened one day, you are going to send one application form to the recruiter, and your ID says, your ID says that apple of my eye is at the rate of yahoo.com. So the person would also believe the person is still a student, has not gone mature enough. When he doesn't have time to to create one official ID for himself, then how will he going to serve the organization, right? So that ways, like if we have most common names, it is hard to get right a one. No, for example, if your name is Abhishek Nayak, right? So you can have Nayak dot Abhishek, and your phone number special characters maybe 4592942239 at the rate of gmail.com, right? Daydreamer Swin, and no, it is also not a professional ID. You have to create one. Yes, like Manish Soni, your ID is correct, but don't share it here for the personal purposes. Don't share it here, right? Right. So you have to think that way as out, right? So you can create one for you for, but yeah, Dreamer, and like we have one like Zodiac also out here. So it is good as far as your student life is concerned, but not like yeah, like Lakshman is also correct. That is also right email ID. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But don't send it here, friends. Don't send it here. You can send me in the private. No, you can't edit your email IDs. Once it is registered, it is registered. You can't do that. You can always edit the password, but not the IDs. Correct? Now think twice before you hit to the reply all. Now this is again very important, right? Now, why is it important that you should think twice, thrice, and four times before you hit to the reply all? Maybe there could be some users, those who were not intended to to send those particular messages in email. So it is very much required that you are not when you are clicking to reply all, you are not you're verifying it twice and thrice whether these people are to be kept in CC or not, right? Whether this information should be reached them or not. Ma'am, can you please send this recorded session after completion of the sessions? Sai, these sessions goes to the management, and I'm sure I would ask them to share these sessions. Right? I'm sure you are loving these sessions. Are you taking something from these sessions? Right? So yeah, we not create a new email ID, madam. Okay, no problem. You can create one, Swati, today, right? I'm so sorry. Okay, so yes, think twice before you hit to the reply all button, which is again very, very important, right? Include a signature block. So maybe what is a signature block? Now, how it is important? I'll tell you. Uh, a signature block is when you write an email. I'm sure you must have seen at the undersigned people, they write their designation, their like their the manager training and development, right? And then their company's name, their phone number, their email IDs. Why am I asking that? Means by seeing my email ID in the program is a textile engineer who have 30 years experience, man, said wow, it is pretty cool, and by seeing your email itself seems to be a plus guy. Okay, they see, that depends again, right? I truly agree to what you are saying, Ashwin, but what happens is not every time it happens, right? Maybe the person has some different outlook towards the towards the life. Some people are really very realistic, jolly in nature. Yash, you are not getting your answers regarding what did you ask? I am really sorry, I missed it. but there is no need to cry. Only passport size photo, or we can keep anything else. For what? For what you need only passport size photo, Yash? Ma'am, what should be the profile photo in the Gmail? Okay, in the Gmail, Yash, you can have your IDs like that could be a smiley one, a professional one, that will also work, right? Any professional pictures of yours, you can crop it and you can post it. That doesn't matter, right? Now let's see one more thing out here is now here. Okay, I will do that. Yes, yes, we want a session about LinkedIn fully. I had already done in the last class, but if in case you want, I'll give you the brief. Don't worry. Yes, I will. So the signature block is very, very much important. Why? Because it will give you the introduction. For example, tomorrow you are you're applying for any you're getting a reward from any of the companies, right? So you will get to understand that who this person is, right? What is the designation? So because people do respond according to the company, according to the reputation of the person, according to his experience, according to his designation, they reply, right? So whenever I get a new fresh mail, I get to understand, okay, I'm getting from this person, could be a director, could be a manager, could be a senior lead, could be any associate, it could be a counselor, could be a consultant, right? And then I would also get their email IDs, I will get their phone numbers, fax ID, their LinkedIn ID, then company's logo. So everything I would find under the signature box. That is why the signature block is very, 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 very important, right? So I will tell you in the next class that how do you create the signature block, correct? Use only professional salutations. Now if you whenever you are writing any email, you will only write professional salutations. Now what are the professional salutations? I will show you in the end of this slide. I have the examples of professional salutations. Use exclamation point sparingly. Now what is it? I would leave these questions to you. What do you mean by this term? Use exclamation point sparingly. What does it mean? I'll show you the example out here. I'll show you one example. I'm sure you must have seen this. Have you seen this? It looks like that we have, a bundle of exclamation marks which is, running absolutely free of cost, and we keep on adding the exclamation marks as many as we want to. Correct. But this is something that we have to avoid. Being professionals, it is not up to you that you can use as many as exclamation marks you want to. You just have to keep one. And if you keep one, that is more than sufficient. You don't have to write exclamation for everything, right? You will only use it only once after greetings. Or maybe if it is a victory situation, then maybe cheers, cheers team, or maybe when you say kudos, kudos, right? That particular time you can put it, or maybe here like congratulations for your job offers, right? So that particular time, one is more than sufficient, but not more than this, right? So that's the reason of that you don't have to use exclamation marks as in abundant, right? Now proofread every message. Now this is very important. right? Now the importance of reading the entire message is very, very important. Sometimes, and most of the times, what we think is not we write. I repeat, every time, it is not compulsory that what you think is what you write. I can bet you on this. Whenever you write your exams, university exams, you read the entire sheets twice. Why? Because it's not like every time what you are thinking is exactly what you're drafting over the sheet, right? You might skip some words which changes the entire meaning. Maybe you miss some special words, some important terminologies, which can make your answer incomplete. Agreeing to me or not? Yes or no? It happens or not? Yes, it happens with most of us. Even if when I was in my school, right, even in my universities, right, even we used to make the same mistake. And I think every second person, when you, because your brain, when you start thinking and you're in stress, when you are paying a lot of attention, so your brain works, with the power of two. So definitely, it is giving you the instant results at a very rapid speed. So that's, your writing cannot cope up. So same happens when you are drafting any email. So could be a spelling mistake, or maybe you missed out some words, you missed out some important point, right? So it is always a good idea that whenever you are drafting any email, first proofread all the important points. Correct? Now, after this thing, add the email address at the last. Now, this question I would like to ask from my audience. Why do you think you should, you must, you have to add all the email addresses at the last of the email when you're drafting any email? Why? Tell me. My voice is breaking. Everyone? Is it for everyone? My voice is breaking? No? All right. All right. Now, please tell me, why do you think that you need to add your email addresses at the last? For example, you are drafting a mail, right, which is supposed to be sent to 7 people. So why it has been asked that you must always add the email addresses of the concerned people at the end of drafting the email? Why is it so?
Ma'am, if they have any queries left.
Sorry.
Ma'am, any doubt left?
Okay. So what happens is, I'll give you this answer. For example, I drafted one mail, right? And what I did was, like, as a habit, I'm telling you, maybe most of you say, no ma'am, we write the emails at the last, but I'm telling you, 85% people, they would first write down the email IDs, they will enter the email IDs, and then they will draft the email. Please tell me if I'm wrong, right? And there is nothing like wrong here, right? So what happens is, what is the best practice? For example, what you did was, as per the tradition, you entered the people into, then CC, then BCC, and then what you did was, then you started drafting the mail. Because technology is always challenged, network issue, maybe your hand slipped, you end up clicking on send button, and it was too late to undo the particular email, right? So what happened was, your email sent to the person incomplete, and it could be a very important mail. Now the person who has received the mail would not have time to check your correct email, so he would have received this mail, and we would have considered as the fresh mail. However, now it will be your responsibility to again draft a same email, then write the correct information, first seek the apology, and then write the correct addresses, and then send. Right? So now, unnecessarily, what you're doing is, you are just increasing your time, that's all, and wasting your efforts, right? How to rectify such situations? Now, what is the best practice is, first draft your email. Don't have to put the email IDs, we will put it in the last. So what is the best practice is, first draft your entire email, the salutations, right? Then your salutations, then you will add the particular, I mean, the body of your email, whatever is to be covered, what is to be conveyed, whether the attachment is attached or not, right? Yes, with the same file which you have mentioned, the correct file that has been asked. After verifying all the checks, after verifying all the informations, then what I'll do is I'll see who am I going to address. Now, there is again a glitch here. You will say, ma'am, you tell us lot of things in one go, but I'm really I'm helpless that ways. Now, what will you do is you have to verify the IDs also. Now you will be like, ma'am, why do we need to verify every second thing, right? Because you have to. You are a professional now. You are upgraded. Now, there could be more than four Ankit, four Rashmi, five Sai working in the same group, right? Now, might I choose the wrong one, and this could be an important mail and it could reach the wrong participant. My job will be will be at the stake. I'm telling you, any wrong email can cost your job, my dear friends. And if I'm telling you, insisting you, that means I have seen more than 100 cases like this. And I'm not scaring you, but I'm warning you that, you are, when you will be a professional, there will be no room of improvement. There will be no room of you to get corrected. Just give me a second, please. All right. So you have no room of addition and improvement then. So it is very much important for everybody out here is that please verify the email addresses, whether I'm addressing the right person or not, right? Select them that they will be kept in two, then CC, then BCC, and then at last, warm regards, so and so. Now, whom to keep in two, whom to keep in CCC, I will tell you, don't worry, right? First of all, understand this. Any doubt so far?
No, ma'am.
Good. Now keep your
No,
fonts
ma'am.
very classic, Calibri and Georgia. Somebody snoring, please wake up, right? Keep your font classic. Now, what does it mean? Keep your fonts classic. That means what I did was I thought, why not to make my why not to make my slide email very interesting? Why not to give it a style? I chose some funky, styling, or not this. This looks still better. I chose to comic would work better. I chose to use this, right? And then probably because this is one, no. So this will actually, not give me a right information, and this will not give me the right uh, image, right? So it is always said that whenever you are drafting your mail, your font size should be either Calibri or it should be Georgia. Not, or maybe you can use Arial also. Arial also works better. If you want Arial, Arial is also a nice one to use, right? You can use this. This is also a good one. Use professional email greetings. Now, what are those? I will show you in the end of the slide, or maybe in the next class, because we will be having two classes of email. One is today, and second you will get the email, right, where I will show you the practical implementation. So don't miss the second class. Use professional email greetings. This is something which I'll show you. Keep it short, or avoid all caps. Now, this is what I wanted to tell you, that whenever yes, it is. Tell you what is BCC, CC, and two thing. Don't worry. And now, I said that avoid writing in caps. Now, why did I ask you that you must avoid writing in caps? Because caps means you are shouting at somebody. Because see, what is what is the importance of written English, written communication? That it cannot be said. For example, if I scold somebody, if I say, okay, please, silence, right? So now everybody will understand from the tone that ma'am is angry. Now we have to maintain the silence. Like your teacher comes in and then say, today I'm really, really not happy with your, with your work. So with the tone, you will understand that yes, she is not in a good mood. There is something wrong that has happened. But in written communication, my dear friends, there is no tone that could be understood, right? That in which tone the writer is writing. That is done with the choices of words. With the choices of words. What is salutation? I'll tell you. Don't worry. Everything will be covered. Please keep yourself mute, Sai. Sai, please keep yourself mute.
Your audio is not audible, ma'am.
Okay. Now, if I say Ashish, uh, you have to complete your work by today itself in the morning, by today evening. Otherwise, be ready to face the consequences. Now, my choices of words let the Ashish understand that this is a warning and the person is really not happy with me. Whereas the second mail says, congratulations, there is a victory, and the management is really very happy with your work. And please keep it up and do it in the future endeavor. Now you will understand this is an appreciation mail. Why? Because choices of word, right? Second thing, if I say, this is very disappointed to announce that. Now the person is disappointed with your actions. Now the choices of words, right, and the styling of writing conveys your real thought process. So avoid writing everything in caps, and more top of it, don't use colorings called red in color. If you color it red and bold and send it to the user, to the reader, he will understand that you're furious, you're yelling at the person, and you're really, really angry, right? So don't take any risk. You have to draft your mail like it has been done generally. Don't use caps or all. No, not required. Right? Now, in your subject line, you should keep only one or two words in the topic in the subject line. It helps the reader to know what the email is all about. So writing the entire story in the email is not recommended any days. Now let's see what are the salutation and everything. I'll tell you in brief everything here only. Now that's how your mail look like, right? That's the architecture of your email. Now this from is the person who is sending the email. That means your address. So your address would be looked here, will be visible here in the student's email ID or the sender email ID. I'm so sorry. Now two is a person to whom we are addressing directly, to whom we are addressing directly. Or I can say a person from whom I am expecting an action, a reward, or maybe any, yes, action that is to be taken. For example, if I'm writing to uh, Rashi, that Rashi, I would want the schedule of BTech second year right now. So that means I will keep Rishi or Rishi in the two, because I am expecting the reward from her, from him, right? So that's when we write two here. So all the important IDs where from whom we are expecting some actions to be taken, those who are the direct attendees, we will put them in two. Now, to whom do we keep in CC? CC means carbon copies. So the entire email would reach to the people, those who are kept in CC. Now, to whom do we keep in CC? Those who are related to that particular email. For example, I'll tell you, for example, you have your coordinators, right? Now, let's say you are writing your email to your friends. You're sharing one assignment, keeping your class coordinator in CC. Now, your class coordinator has nothing to do with this mail, but she must be informed that what has been communicated during the session. Similarly, if you are in the organization, when you are sharing any email, let's say your ex colleague or maybe your any of your TL has given you some work, your work should always be acknowledged. It should be reflected that you are the responsible person who has done this work. So what will you do is you will put the ID in two of your colleague or the TL who has assigned you the work, and you will keep your manager in CC so that he must be informed that you have done this work. Now, this the people those who are in CC are not responsible to take any action, but they should be kept in the consideration. However, it's their choice as if they want to intervene in this or not, or will they want to give their inputs or some additions to it. But then these are the people those who are just kept for the information. Now, who all are kept in BCC? Now, for example, if I want to share the bulk emails and I don't want people to see each other's ID, right? If I'm sharing the bulk mails, well, wherein to consider to adhere the personal privacy of the audience, I don't want them to be visible, with each other. I don't want them to communicate with each other. So what I'll do is I'll put them into BCC, right? So now these BP this BCC means blind carbon copy. So all those who are kept in BCC will be kept in BCC, like all the bulk mails. Now these IDs cannot see each other. However, they can see people those who are there in the two. However, these people can see whom they have received the emails. Now you have to understand the culture of your organization. There are few organizations those who do not promote the BCC culture because of privacy issues. Because if you will go to any computer or maybe any software industry, IT industry, networking industry, can BCC right? If you go to any right, if you go to any IT company, right? Right, so they do not promote right? Yes, you can see them. Yes, you can see them, right? That means BCC and CC is used to maintain the information privacy. Yes. However, there are very very good industries those who do not allow BCC system. If they find somebody using BCC in the emails, they can throw them out any day. So before you enter in any of the organization, you need to understand whether they promote the culture of BCC or not. If they don't, then do not even try to put BCC, because it might happen that you must have been sharing very important information and you kept somebody in the BCC, right? So which might, I would not see the, definitely it would not work. So yeah, so avoid doing that. Now, the subject is your title of the reason of the email, which I have already shared with you. Now the salutations like dear, respected, hi, and sir. Like when you write hi, good, hello, hey, dear respected sir, dear respected ma'am. What are the other salutations? Might I'll discuss in the next class, because I will be sharing in detail when to be use what, right? Right. If I keep all of you in BCC, so all of you can see me, my ID, but not each other's ID. That is the meaning that ways. So That those are the salutations. Like you write dear sir, dear ma'am, respected sir, respected ma'am. But I would like to tell you here that whenever you are a part of any professional group, avoid writing respected, because respected was restricted to schools. But when you enter a professional world, it is required that you use dear ma'am, dear sir, or maybe the name. And when do we use what, I will tell you when I will be showing you the practical implementation, right? Don't worry, I will be showing you how an actual email is drafted. I'll show you the practical implementation, right? So that's how these are to be done. Now, when salutation is over, then comes the main body. Main body is like what is introduction, matter in detail, and conclusion. Now, main body covers your introduction. Now, what is in the introduction? In the introduction, you will write down that why are you writing this email? Is this an apology mail? Is this an information mail? Or it is a convincing mail? Is it a complaint mail? Or is it a feedback me mail? Or it is it is it's an offer letter. It's providing any opportunity. If it is for any sales, if it is for any joint venture, or maybe something like that sort. So this introduction will tell the person that why this email has come, right? What is the agenda of this email, what this email wants to say or convey. Then matter in detail, that means it is a body of the email. Now you will tell the entire story in the mail detail. And then the conclusion, that what are you expecting from this email. First, why are you writing this email, and then conclusion, what are you expecting in this email. Now, if you can cover all these 3 points in your email will never look like incomplete, right? So you need to be very, very cautious that whenever you are writing the email, all these 3 points are very, very important. Now comes the closing. The closing is ending of any email, like you use here. Like I'll show you. Can you see these hyphens? These double hyphens are used as as end of email. So when you write the entire email and you put this double hyphens, that means now there is nothing important after this particular hyphen. There is nothing important information beyond that. Correct? Then comes the attachment. Attach file with emails. Now this is very important thing, my dear friends, to know. When you are attaching the file, what should we keep, what should we keep photos in our Gmail, right? Now these attachments are very, very much important. For example, if I'm saying I am attaching, hi, please find attached the documents of 23rd April 2022. So your, what you have mentioned, that please find attached the document of 22 May, your file name should be exactly same what you are mentioning in the mail, right? They shouldn't be different, because the person might get confused that the file name that is attached is different and what is mentioned is different, right? So your file name that you mention and you attach should be same, right? Then signature block. Now how to create the signature, I'll also discuss in the next class, right? How to make one one signature block for yourself, right? This is all I will show you, right? So that's how it is. Now these are the few salutations, right? These are the few salutations, like hi plus name, hello name, dear, greetings name, all everyone, dear team, dear Mr. So and who made concern. Now you write hi and hello to somebody to whom you are very much familiar. For example, you all are working in the same team, and you tend to send, let's say, if, maybe 2 or 3 you know messages per day. So definitely what will happen is you will not write dear sir, dear ma'am. So what will you do is you will just say hi name and you will send the email. Similarly, hello name is when you are comfortable with the person, you know a person, the person is junior to you. Dear is when you know a person and you are at the same position or maybe senior to you. This is nowadays very much used. Dear sir, dear ma'am, dear Bhavesh, dear Ridhima, whatever it is. Or maybe if you don't know the name, you can just write down the designation. For example, dear HR, dear manager, dear technical lead, dear team. If you even don't know whoever it is, you can write down straight dear team, right? Team, maybe whoever is the person who has to be considered here, so we can write down here dear team. Then greetings, or maybe just if you are a superior person, if you are a manager, you can just write the name also, and then the entire mail. Now if you want to address everybody and you don't want to address one by one, you can write down dear all, dear everyone, dear all, that way is dear team, like I've mentioned here, dear Mr. and Mrs. Mr. is used for men, and Mrs. is used for both married or unmarried. Mr. is universal, whether you are married or not married. For males, you will write Mr. For Miss is used for females, even if she is married or unmarried. Like you earlier, we used to have the culture of using Mrs. for for married, and this for Miss for spinsters. But nowadays we have kept it as a universal. Now if even if you are married, not married, you can use ms dot to avoid the confusion and to disrespect anyone, their dignitary or something like that sort. Now even if I don't know whom the person is, but I want to send one mail, so I will write to whomsoever it may concern. Now whoever is responsible for this particular job to be done, I am addressing that person. Do I make sense here? What should we keep? Any doubts so far? You can have a basic picture of yours, that is also that will also work for you, don't worry. Right, so these are the salutations. After salutations, these are the opening statements, like allow me to introduce myself, good afternoon, good evening, how are you, hope this email finds you well, I hope you enjoyed your weekend, hope you're having a great week, great wonderful day, it's great to hear from you. As we discussed on call, as requested, please find attached. Thank you for your help. Thanks for your quick response. I apologize for the delay. So these are what? These are the opening statements, right? After you complete the opening statement, these are the closing rules, right? So I'll show you the closures. So these are the closures. All the best, best regards, warm regards. Looking forward to hearing from you. You're sincerely, you're with appreciation, thanking you, you're sincerely, right? And then your cooperation in this regard is highly appreciated. Looking forward to hearing from you. So these are few closures which you will find there. Now I'll give you one example. Now this is one mail. Now please tell me what is wrong in this email.
Ma'am, ma'am, spellings mistakes.
Okay, what else?
Most of the words are using message language.
Correct. So in short, all the details that I have told you, that the do's and don'ts, they have mentioned it here. So am I audible?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Now it's audible, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. So all those do's and don'ts that I told you that you do not you don't have to do is all there in this email. Caps on, no proper usage of see exclamation marks, see the ID which they have used, right? And WhatsApp, casual language, right? The wrong format of using this phone numbers, improper way of writing the email, casual approach, plus very use some slangs also somewhere, right? Yeah, too long also. So this is not required. Right, so I hope now you understood that how you need to write the emails. I'll show you the practical implementations of everything that we have covered in this class in the next session, right? Anything else that you would like to ask me? Any questions for me? Yes, you all are absolutely right.
Share this PPT, ma'am.
Okay, I'll do that.
Okay, ma'am.
Right. Anything else that you would like to ask me? Any questions for me? People BCC can see the two and CC people. Yes, they can.
Thank you.
No question. Yes, caps means uppercase. Exactly. I do have an existing mail, and if we are to create a new mail for our job, if you have existing and you think that it's professional, then it's absolutely fine. You can use Vedana also. Okay, Neeraj, if I do have the facility to do that, I will definitely let you know on this. That could affect my email ID. No, it will not. It will not affect your career, but it never, looks good. But let's, it doesn't leave right impression as a professional. For example, if you get one ID from my side, if I say, there is a girl, my ideas, my ID says, beautiful dot smile at the rate of gmail.com. So definitely you will believe that, the professional who is coming with experience of 10 years and writing such kind of email ID sounds very kiddish, right? That's what I want to say. I agree to your points, ma'am, when you said we should have professional mail ID, but if it is safe to have one email ID, yeah, you can do that. For example, you don't want to share it with everybody in this world, you want to keep it something, in private, maybe with close friends and all, you can have one. And the technology gives you a lot of areas to, have create as many email IDs you want to. But what I want is to say that you should have one professional email ID for yourself, yeah, which you can give it to your professional, to your recruiters, or to somebody in your professional links that ways, yeah. So I hope, ma'am, from where we can access of lectures of PPT. I think for this you need to actually contact your management. They will actually help you out in this. But I will also drop a mail that wherein they can, you all can get these PPTs and these recordings so that you can access it whenever you want to, right? Next session is on Wednesday, right? Yes, absolutely. We will have the practical implementations, and I would also give you one task on that particular day, which we will discuss in the sessions, right? The link would be shared by the management. I don't have. I'm really sorry. What should we keep in photo in? Yeah. So you can have a smiling photographs, like I told you in the LinkedIn ID, Mani Kanta. So what you can do is you can have a smiling or maybe a professional photographs of yours, wherein maybe a passport size would work. Yes. Your DP. I haven't seen your DP. I'm really sorry. Right, you can put as professional as it can be. Don't put any professional, any casual one. Yeah. Any other doubt? I'm really sorry, I'm not allowed to share any of my personal information out here. All right, thank you so much. I hope this session also gave you the brief insight, right, and it gave you a lot of information. Yeah, it did it. Yes, great. It's good to hear all of you. Right. So let's meet on Wednesday, and please join the session in time. Please ask your friends also to join in time so that we all can avail the best of it. So you are not in the wrong impression that when the sessions will happen. Okay. All right. So let's meet on Wednesday. Thank you so much for being such a wonderful audience. Be safe and have a good sleep. Good night. Take care and enjoy your weekend. All right. Bye bye. Take care.